Welcome back to the Outback to End Zone podcast. We are live here in the media workroom at the NFL draft. And Nick, mate, how insane has this atmosphere been so far?
Oh, mate, you actually can't put, a way to describe it in any way, shape, or form. But beyond what you'd really imagine, like the professionalism, the way it's set up, the spectacle, the passionate fans, just the colours, it's insane. And, we compare, sports here for back home a lot. It's another reason to do so. Like Australia is kind of so far behind the eight ball in their respect to, how these guys go about it here. But overall, an awesome trip.
100%. You probably noticed we've got some raspy voice here because we were out literally in the photo pit yesterday screaming, capturing content with fans. And yeah, the voice is well and truly gone. And honestly, that's just touching on the draft, everything that else is happening, partying in West Virginia and at Ohio State with the Aussie punters. Yeah, we're a bit buggered.
I
We're
was
a bit
sick from
knackered.
pretty much day one, but I really had no choice. I'm like, look, this is a crazy opportunity that, obviously got to make the most of in all aspects, content-wise, like networking-wise, just experience-wise. Yeah, had not the best days, feeling the best in terms of, working at full capacity, but, got to push through. And, last night when I was interviewing, guys like David Bailey and
Jeremiah Love.
These guys are like the best guys in the country, insane athletes, insane at what they do. And, nearly fainted at one point, but I was like, you know what, stuff it, I've got to push through. And glad I did.
The amount of cold and flu tablets we've both had
Mate,
this trip.
There's none left in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've run out. And I'll tell you what, cold and flu tablets, we've got the boys around us, so they might chime in a little bit here as well. But yeah, the cold and flu tablets hit different over here as well. Like,
mate, there's more hit spins than I won't go into it, actually.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a non-drowsy cold and flu tablet, but we're soldiering through. We're having a grouse time, and we're so thankful to everyone that's been following along, and hope we've been bring the draft as close as we can to all the fans back in Australia that are watching from home, mate. But I guess what were probably the highlights from yesterday from you? I know you touched a little bit on meeting literally face to face with number 2 and number 3 overall pick. What was yesterday about for you?
Yeah, I think it was just I touched on like 2 minutes ago, just the professional setup. Like we're surrounded by guys working at ESPN, like the biggest sporting platforms in the world. Like guys who are, surrounding themselves with the best athletes on the planet. Like I met a guy yesterday, Lake Lewis, like absolute ripping guy. Couldn't believe I was all the way from Australia coming here. Loves the fact that we're bringing the game to Melbourne in September, and you just rubbing shoulders with these guys, these reporters and guys that, you see on the tally or just, see around on social media at these big events. It's pretty surreal being with them, and having full conversations and then, them following you back on social media. So that was pretty insane for me.
100%. Yeah. The networking is the biggest aspect of it. And everyone's so helpful over here. Like no one turns their nose down at you or anything like that.
And he could have easily said like, fuck this kid, what? I'm like, mate, I'm trying to do my job. Was, asked the questions, really keen to know how we go about it back home, and followed us back and looked at our content, gave us support. And fortunately back home it's not as common as we found.
No, definitely not, man. Definitely not. But yeah, as I said, everyone's so helpful. I think the number one highlight for me was just the atmosphere. We were pretty lucky enough. I'm not going to lie. We weren't supposed to get access to like the front area. We somehow ended up in like a private park, which was literally, there's like a barrier behind where all the 300,000 fans are. And then there's like a little midsection. And then you had like the room where all the players and their families were sitting. We were somehow actually sitting in this little area. We got told to maybe a few times, but we managed just to scurry around the crowd long enough to stay there. We watched probably the first like 15 or 16 picks. And man, any time, like, especially being here in Pittsburgh, whenever like the Browns or like the Cowboys were picking, just hear the Steeler Nation go berserk. Like they were losing their shit. You could feel that. Like the only thing it comes close to is like a grand final day, that sort of energy. And the crazy thing is they're not even playing. It's just a guy reading off names off a piece of cardboard.
Crazy. Like it's for me, like, cause it's almost like, and it probably is the reason, these draft picks is what's going to set up the team for the next 10 years plus, right? So that's why they put so much importance on who they pick.
100%.
Back home with the AFL, like, there's people are happy with who they pick.
Mm.
but there's not as much emphasis because I don't know why. Maybe because you don't see as much footage because these guys are playing college. They're on TV.
Mm.
You can see every bit of what they do. But yeah, there's not as much emphasis on like draft picks back home. Maybe because you can always snag a good pick later on, or I don't know.
100%. I think it's like the attachment you get to the players. Like even just us five guys going to Ohio State the other day and like seeing like Sonny Styles' bench press time just posted up in the wall and like
Went out with him on Saturday night.
yeah, yeah, good man, good man. Just like seeing those guys and like getting the attachment to the players before they start. They obviously don't have that in the AFL system because they're playing under 18. So,
It's not televised like Oakley Chargers with Eastern Rangers.
mm,
That's not going on Channel 7.
no, it's not. It's not. So you really do get that opportunity to start following these careers before they come to the NFL. And then you got teams like Adam, who supports the Cleveland Browns. This is basically a draft. They're not making a Super Bowl anytime. Well, hopefully for his sake, they make one
Yeah.
soon. But it's.
And back home as well, you're basing it off like a few select recruiters as well, their opinion.
Yeah.
Here, you got the whole nation watching them and like everyone's got their opinion.
Well, when we were in Cleveland's facility, their scout room was bigger than their cafeteria.
Yeah.
Like it was absolutely
And
insane.
they measure everything to the T. Everything. Like,
Every single little
Yeah.
piece of like information they know about you. Like they know exactly how much you weigh every single day. They know what piece of food you have to have. They know when to cut. They know when
Crazy.
to bulk. Like
calories.
it's just berserk the amount of science that actually goes into these guys. So the scouts they have all the information, which kind of I find it surprising because you still get picks that don't work out. So
And for a non-NFL fan, you look at it and go, oh, all he's done is catch the ball. Well, what goes into that? What science is behind that? But
oh,
once you actually see behind the scenes and how these guys go about it, there's so much more to just laying a tackle or catching the ball or throwing the ball. Like, every little thing matters. It's a game of inches. And
mate,
people don't realize that.
literally, yeah, the massive emphasis on the game of inches. So I guess if we move into the second day today, by the time of recording, probably the round 2 and 3 will be all done and dusted. But obviously my Colts are picking today, so I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty excited.
Who do you want?
Jacob Rodriguez is our man. He's the guy we're going to be going after. I'm very scared he's not going to be there on the board, but out of Texas Tech, great mustache, linebacker. We need a bloke that's going to go
I like
make
that.
some plays. So that's the man I want to see the Colts draft today. But we're going to stick a fork in it. We just want to give the fans a quick update on where we're at. We're going to go enjoy the draft today, but we appreciate everyone that's been following along.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you around like a result.